Mohit, let's very quickly run through alpha and beta and how they're also important. Just so that those viewers who have not heard it on this channel can hear it now.
Sure, Alex. I think it's a very often spoken term, which is alpha. Very simply put, alpha is something which is over and above your expectation. So when you go to a restaurant for having dinner, you're expecting something beyond your normal dinner, right? You can have a normal dinner at your home, but when you go to a restaurant or when you go to a professional fund manager alike, you expect him to deliver something over and above the benchmark, which means alpha tells you how well a fund manager has managed your scheme. Is he just delivering benchmark returns? So let's say if the benchmark is Nifty or Sensex, is he just simulating the returns of what Nifty or Sensex has been doing? Or is he actually delivering over and above? The higher the number, the better a scheme is, which means the fund manager is actually doing a great job of delivering you extra returns. So go with a scheme which gives you a higher alpha in the same peer group or in the same category. So that's how you interpret alpha.
Okay, and what about beta? This is also something that you need to understand, right?
Yeah. And beta, very simply put, is the sensitivity of the fund towards the benchmark, or it's a measure of your systematic risk in the portfolio. Again, to explain it very simply, let's say the beta, I'll just try and give you an example. The beta of an index or an index fund is always 1, basically. So you see any index fund, the beta will show as 0.99 or 0.98, which means it is closely resembling the index or the benchmark. So if the beta is 0.9, that means when the fund delivers, when the benchmark delivers 10% return, the fund will deliver 9%. When the benchmark falls by -10, the fund will only fall by -9, right? If the beta is 1.2, that means it is much more sensitive, or the sensitivity is much higher than the benchmark, which shows that when the benchmark delivers 10% return, the fund will deliver 12%. But when the benchmark falls 10%, the fund is also likely to fall 12. So it is likely to deliver on both sides, upside and downside, extreme results than the benchmark. So beta in effect measures the sensitivity or the direction in which the scheme can actually deviate from the benchmark. So it is again a measure of volatility, but it is more a directional measure. So if I were to just summarize everything, Alex, alpha is excess return generated over the benchmark. Beta is like sensitivity towards the benchmark. Standard deviation is the measure of volatility, and Sharpe and Sortino are measures of risk adjusted volatility, and Sortino is downside risk adjusted returns, basically. So that's how you kind of interpret all the ratios.
So in the list of funds or mutual fund schemes that you've looked at, which of them, for example, would stand out in terms of the ratios that you've just pointed out?
So look, again, it is not a exhaustive list which we have prepared. We have this was more for a representation purpose, that we selected schemes out of each category and showed to various investors. Now each investors can have a different risk persona, but let's say if you're just taking an example of a large cap category, Axis Blue Chip actually demonstrates that they generate higher alpha. The risk adjusted returns, which is by virtue of Sharpe and Sortino, are also much better than other schemes in the category. And the volatility though is a little higher than other schemes, but that's not like out of the line, right? So when you put everything in perspective, you can easily say that it is one of the good picks or amongst the good picks. Again, but as I say, this is not an exhaustive list. This was just more for illustrative purposes, to demonstrate how each category and how schemes in each category kind of show these ratios. So that's how. But yeah, again, as I told you, this is how you interpret within a particular category.